You poor naive chump.
What, you sipping on something this morning?
No, the same shit I had last time.
What was it?
Sunny D vodka.
Very good.
It's
I'm on
actually
the opposite side.
not good.
Oh. I'm drinking a Monster Java right now. I don't get them all the time, but when I do get them, they're really good.
We're not sponsored, but when it comes to energy drinks, I just fucking love Gamer Sups, dude.
I never even tried it.
I'll let you have some. I have 3 different flavors to choose from right now. We got pear, black currant, and peach rings, sour peach rings. I like
very
all
good.
of them. I never had black currant before, so that was an interesting flavor. It's like a berry flavor, but it has like a minty aftertaste, almost like wintergreen. It's pretty nice, refreshing.
Is it I'm not really too familiar with Gamer Subs. Is it like a powder sort of deal, or
Yeah.
is it cans?
It's pretty much like, I would say it's just like G Fuel, but you know how I don't mean to slander G Fuel or anything, because I've had it and I liked it for a while, but one of my biggest complaints was the powder to water ratio, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was chalky, and the flavor sometimes would be off on G Fuel. I've not had a flavor I did not like with Gamer Sups, and the amount of powder you use is like fractions.
That's good.
Because you had G Fuel before, and you remember how big
Yeah.
that scoop was?
Yeah, well, I never used water. I always
Yeah,
chose flavors that would go really well with milk. So I feel like the powder to liquid ratio is better with the milk.
I suppose the consistency would be better. I knew you did that. I just blocked that memory.
Well, that's a recommended way to do it. It's like use either water or milk. A little protein shake.
But yeah, I like it a lot. I even have a caffeine-free variant. It's just blue flavor, though. It's blue.
Blue?
Yeah.
Why are you blue? Oh, I finished Breaking Bad.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're just like the Super Mega Boys. We can talk about Breaking Bad now.
Welcome to the club. Now
I
you gotta
know,
watch
I
it
feel
again.
great.
You were watching it with Kelly?
Yeah, we watched all of Breaking Bad over like a month. It didn't take us long to finish.
That's exactly
And
what... when me and Bailey started dating, I made her watch Breaking Bad with me.
And then we watched El Camino, which I really loved because I love Jesse a lot. I think if you don't like Jesse, then I don't think you watched the show. he's a really good character.
He's like the indomitable human spirit.
Well, yeah, Better Call Saul is next on the list. Breaking Bad has a special connection with me because my family is from New Mexico and Albuquerque, so it was really cool to watch a show that's like based in Albuquerque, and you can like be like, oh, I know exactly where that is, or like I've been there, before. It doesn't. If you went to Albuquerque today and went to like a tourist shop, you'd think that the entire show just made nothing but New Mexico references, but really they don't. It isn't really a New Mexico show. That show could have easily taken place in like Arizona or something.
I always knew you had, I knew you were from Albuquerque, or your family was.
Well, my family, yeah.
Yeah.
Total, I probably lived there like 3 months, but my heart belongs there. I love New Mexico so much. The Southwest in general. If I could move there, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But there's other than my family, there's really not much for me out there.
Hey, maybe we'll get there because I don't want to be over here either. This is, yeah.
It's fucking humid.
We'll figure it
Get
out.
out.
We'll figure it out. This water prison can only hold us for so long.
Dude, so there's an industry that I work when I'm on night shift. And I think I don't know what the hell their cars hold. But there is like a lot of slippery spots just like in the area. And then of course when it rains it gets way worse. And last night I was so I've been doing this for a while, so I can like kind of smoothly do shit, like as soon as I get down he's doing his thing, and then all like a well-oiled machine, right? Well, last night I was doing my badass thing, and I go to get off the engine, the locomotive, and I like planted my feet and slid like a damn cartoon, like with both feet, and then I like fell on my ass. It was not good.
No,
I was embarrassed.
The amount of times I'll be moving something in the warehouse, and like I'm using like one of those long ass pallet jacks that can hold 2 pallets at a time.
Ooh.
No, because if you slip and fall and that thing's rolling, the fucking like chaotic scramble to get back to your feet so you don't fucking die is crazy. Like, anti-slip shoes are mandatory, but the fact that even with anti-slip, if it's just a little bit wet outside, someone will track in a piece of like a leaf, a fucking leaf, dude. I've had my toe broken by a pallet. It's
Your soul broken.
I think it would be easier, but also way more dangerous if they allowed us to use the indoor forklifts. We have forks for indoors, but they move so slow. So if you somehow killed someone with one of those, it'd almost be like props.
Congratulations, you managed to kill somebody with this thing.
Right? No, they actually had. I feel like it wouldn't even. You couldn't even congratulate them because the victim would have had to have stood there and just let it happen.
Something I wanted to talk about today, maybe not the main topic, but something I did want to talk about today. Circling back to the Monster Java, or Java Monster, sorry. My dad would drink these, like I don't know, it was a weird, like when he was too lazy to make coffee, because he usually just made a black coffee and then took off. But my mom would buy like a handful of these, and I loved them, in high school. And what I would do is like she would have like a stack of them in the pantry, warm, like like not cold or anything. And what I'd end up doing is I'd like grab one, open it, and just chug the whole thing, and then just go to school. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of caffeine in there. I don't feel like I've ever actually like been wired off of a Java Monster, but every time I have one, it makes me think of my dad, because I kept drinking his coffees. He was never really mad, but he was like, "Son, if you could just let me know that you're drinking one so I know, that would be awesome." Because I'm running out. I haven't had one. I had 26, and now they're all gone.
Oh my god. My dad, he doesn't like coffee, but similar to your dad, he is a monster fiend to this day. That green sludge, I think if you cut them open, it'll just come out green.
I don't like Monster anymore. I used to fuck with it, like legit Monster. I don't fuck with it anymore. I'm a Red Bull guy now.
Yeah, if I'm gonna drink something like sugary for an energy drink, it's gonna be Red Bull. But typically, I try and go for just like what we talked about earlier, Gamer Subs or sugar-free option, or just
Yeah.
fucking a raw dog that shit.
Yeah. I learned recently that Red Bull, the taste is not supposed to taste good. Like Red Bull specifically made it like kind of taste like medicine, so that you would so that your brain would think, oh, it doesn't taste good. That means it's working, because things that don't taste good are good for you, or they work, whatever. Um, yeah, it does, because I don't think I met a single person that drinks Red Bull that doesn't like the taste.
Well, what I was gonna say is the reason I stopped drinking Monster is because like Red Bull doesn't taste like soda.
Right.
So I'm like, I know it tastes like an energy drink, so I don't feel like I don't feel the urge to drink it like a fucking soda. Like Monster, you can just drink, you can just pound them shits, not realizing, oh, this is an energy drink.
Hey, hang on 2 seconds. You get out of here.
My cats are so well behaved. He has to fuss at his, but I have 5, and they just chill. Like the worst thing that's happened so far is the little black one has come running up, and tried to knock around my microphone, but I shoot her away.
All right, sorry. Bluebell's being clingy.
Yeah, I told the audience about my cats and how well behaved they
Nice.
are
I mean,
compared to
Bluebell's
yours.
well behaved. She just wouldn't leave me alone. Normally, I'd be fine with that, but
Well, yeah, sometimes. Like, well, that's what disconnected my microphone. The last recording is Misery came up and nudged her head with it, and she tried to do that again, but I shoot her away.
I had to completely kick Bluebell out. If you could listen to my raw recording, it would just be a bunch of like
JoJo's over here
smacking
on
them.
my desk. She's just asleep.
Bluebell will chill out. She was laying under the desk for a good while playing Pokemon yesterday.
That is Dante's spot.
Okay, anyway, dads.
Yeah. You were going somewhere with your story?
All right,
I mean, it was just Father's Day, so.
it was. I was well. You had started to say something before we started, and I kind of stopped you. So I want you to say what you were going to say.
Brother, if you expect me to remember that, you have more faith in me than I have in myself.
It was 12 minutes ago.
I know. It's a long time.
It's not that long.
Well, it obviously has lost me, so let's not dwell on it.
Well, anyway, I guess yeah, not main topic, but I did want to ask if there were anything that makes you think of your dad, whether good or bad, I guess, but like things you see, maybe not every day, but one of those things that like, oh yeah, that makes me think of my dad. Because at night, you can see the stars or whatever. When it's dark enough and you're really looking, sometimes you can see a satellite. And it just looks like a star just moving somewhat unnaturally fast in the sky. And my dad showed me how to find satellites like that. And so that's something that I always think about. And I saw one last night, and I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. So, this is kind of funny, but whenever I play a game like Doom or a boomer shooter that's similar to Doom, I think of my dad. And it's because growing up, my dad talked about how he would play Quake and other games like that. And when I really think about it, I really never saw him play those kind of games. I think he kind of gave that up after he fought in the military. And so, like, it's strange to me to have that connection in my head, because the only time I can really remember him ever playing a game like that with me was when we tried to play Halo 2 together when I was still in like the single digits of my age. So like gaming is really big for me and my dad in terms of like bonding. But it's just funny to me that I connect this specific genre of games with him just because of what he said and not because I've never really seen it. Because if I really thought about it, the games he likes to play are like the collectathon Ubisoft games, like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. Yeah, he just wants to experience a story. He doesn't really care so much if the gameplay is fun. And I don't mean to say that to discredit him, but like he's excited for Mind's Eye, and if that doesn't tell the audience everything they need to know about him, then it is what it is. But he's also excited for GTA 6.
That sounds right. Yeah.
He likes those open
excited.
world kind of immersive sim style games. Like he's the one that got me into those games, and then he just kind of will just eat up whatever now.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be like a big full topic. That was pretty much all I wanted. Just something 2 weeks from Father's Day to think about. I did have some notes. Oh, have you ever, I mean, I'm sure you have, but have you ever heard of Gel's marble runs?
Yeah, like the marble races.
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah.
love that shit. That is my shit. That's not guilty pleasure isn't the right term for it cuz I don't feel guilty about it, and also it's awesome. I have I've been watching them for a while, but yeah, no, that's my shit right there. I just want to know if you were aware of that.
Yeah, I watched a couple videos. It doesn't really like click all the neurons in my brain though.
It's really entertaining to me. I don't really like the Olympic parodies he does. Like, I don't know. Those don't. I mean, I get what he's doing with them, but I don't like those. I just like watching the races, the marble races. They're really fun to watch. It's a very good turn off your brain sort of thing. What captivates me is, I think, the immersiveness around it. Like, he goes through so much effort to like make a crowd, animate it, stop motion animate each individual marble. You know, he treats the marbles as like real people and celebrities. I don't know. I always thought that was like really, really creative, really cool.
Yeah. The lengths people go to like realize something so simple and silly is impressive.
I fucking love silly shit like that. Like people embracing their silly side. Did you see that new Looney Tunes movie? The day
No.
the Earth blew up? Dude, it's really good. Classic Looney Tunes for sure.
It's on Max probably, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they went from HBO to HBO Max to just Max, and now they're going back to HBO.
Okay,
Max
okay. This reminds me of something I did want to talk about. Because I'm gonna add that to my watch list. I fucking love Looney Tunes.
Me too.
I heard recently. This is gonna be a little aside from what I want to talk about, but I heard recently a story about a kid who didn't know what a carrot was, so he called it a "What's up, Doc."
I really like that.
But have you seen all these like 2010 era shows coming back with like a more adult style?
To talk about.
Yeah, more adult style writing.
Yes, I'm so excited. Regular show,
Adventure Time, Gumball.
Adventure Time. Well, Adventure Time has been coming back. Has been back
Yeah,
for a
I think
while.
they tested the waters with Adventure Time because that was by far the most popular of the three.
Right. And not even to mention that, you know, King of the Hill's coming back for a new season.
So, okay, quick little argument. I don't know how I feel about that one, but Would you say the big three is of the four you mentioned? What would you say the big three are?
Well,
I just want to see
Hill is its own
That's
thing.
no, I'm not that one. Of the four Cartoon Network shows,
Adventure Time. Okay, so the ones that are coming back, that are for sure coming back, that I know have been announced. Adventure Time is getting Fiona and Cake season 2.
No,
A movie.
I'm saying
no. Hold on,
oh,
I'm going. I got this. I'm just setting a baseline. Adventure Time's coming back with a movie, a new season, a new spinoff. Gumball's coming back for another season. Steven Universe is coming out with a spinoff, and a regular show is coming out with essentially a reboot. I think out of those four, see, it's hard because Adventure Time is definitely one of them.
Obviously. For sure.
Regular show is definitely one of them.
Yes, sir.
And
That's my favorite of the three.
Kelly and I started watching it, and I think we just stopped watching it, but I've seen it all the way through a couple times. Gumball and Steven Universe are the two that are hard to pin down as the third of top three there, solely because while Steven Universe has a massive fandom, fan base, whatever, Gumball is also very popular, but it doesn't have a lot going on behind the scenes.
Oh,
So it's hard to say. I would say, because, Steven Universe has its cosplayers, its lore masters, all kinds of shit. And then Gumball, it's hilarious. It was definitely before its time, like a little ahead of its time. But it doesn't have the same, I don't know, it doesn't have the same out of world. It's hard to say. I'm trying to find the words for it, but I think you see where I'm.
yeah,
going
you're leading
here.
Steven Universe, and I think
Right, which hurts me because I love Gumball.
we'll disagree because I think Gumball has the bigger audience. I think you can't discount the people who just like cartoons.
Oh no, not at all.
But I don't think there's enough really there substantially to argue about it, because I think both arguments are valid. It could go either way. I do think it's funny though.
Yeah, that's why it was hard.
Bailey of the ones we mentioned, her favorite was Gumball. So all of us have a different opinion. Because
I would have to be in the Steven Universe camp, because that one. So regular show and Adventure Time were the two shows that I actually watched the first episode the day it came out.
Because they premiered back to back, didn't they?
And then watched it later in life. I think so. I don't remember. I remember regular show was
regular show was always after Adventure Time.
Yes, and I remember exactly where I was the day that regular show came out. I was in, I believe, Cub Scouts, so not quite a Boy Scout yet. And we were at a car dealership for I don't know, it was a community thing. I was with my friends at a car dealership doing scout stuff. And then that night when I got home, they had a regular show come out.
Yeah, and it was The Power.
Yes, and that's when he said, "You're gonna piss me off" or whatever.
Yes, and I as a little kid, that was the coolest shit ever. Whoa, this cartoon said piss.
How in the H are we gonna fix this S? That was my favorite.
Yeah, they really pushed the boundaries with the pilot. In a funny way, too.
But, oh yeah. It was great. I'm glad that they're going to be more adult-oriented, because it was always obvious that J.G. Quintel wanted to do something more adult like that.
Well, what's cool, and kind of my headcanon, or my theory is better word for it, for the name of the new show is The Lost Tapes. So what if it's all the shit that was just too crazy for kids television, you know? Because I think it's gonna be like it's gonna be episodic, just like the regular show. Huh?
Right.
Huh? Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, he said the title. He said the title. So I think, can we both, I'm not gonna say why I started to dislike Adventure Time. I wonder if we're gonna come to the same thing. But there's one character that really like represents what I disliked about the direction Adventure Time went for a while. I wonder if you can pinpoint that character. And there's like a few characters that could be acceptable answers, but there's one specifically I'm thinking of.
Part of me, okay. I'm gonna say Bubblegum because I was going to say Lemongrab, but he's not. I think you would find him really funny, and also, I don't.
I think the Lemongrab shit, I think it overstayed its welcome.
Okay, yeah, with like Lemon Hope and shit.
Yeah, I think, but it doesn't bother me so much as the awkward romance the show continued to try and push. And it was always such a big disconnect because it's Adventure Time, not romance time, you know. And it was fine.
Romance is an adventure
when it was all silly, like when it was like princess and knight-esque romance humor. But then it just became like more and more real, and I just didn't fuck with it anymore. It's like this isn't whimsical at all.
Yeah.
But like Bubblegum was a good answer, but I was really thinking Flame Princess.
Okay, I can see that. I feel like a lot of people who watched Adventure Time, I say live, but you know, while the show was coming out, I feel like a lot of people stopped watching around when Flame Princess.
Yeah, I checked out. I checked out. And maybe that was just because of what I had going on in my life at the time. But I don't even dislike the character. I don't dislike the idea of it. It's just, it was weird to me as a kid. And I would like to go back and watch it again without that tinge of hate, I guess. There's no other way to say it.
Well, Kelly's obsessed. Well, not obsessed, but she's... So, you know, I think I've introduced her to a lot of cartoons because she wasn't... It's not that she wasn't allowed. It was just that her family culture didn't really care to watch stuff like that. Like, it was too silly, you know? Definitely not allowed to watch SpongeBob Household. And so, in her adult life, I've been showing her these things because, you know, just because it was made for kids doesn't mean that an adult can't get substance out of it. That's what I love about those shows. And we watched it all together. We watched all of Distant Lands. We watched all of Fiona Cake so far. And I think she's rewatched the show without me several times. Same with Steven Universe. She's watched Steven Universe without me a few times.
That's cool. It's nice that she's just able to go into it without any, like, adulterated imaging of the show. She can just watch it for what it is.
Yeah, it was really cool because a lot of Adventure Time was my first time seeing it, like especially the latter half, you know, when they were doing the weird special arcs, like with the intros. You know what I'm talking about? Like when they would change the intro and it was all weird. I definitely had never seen those before, so it was really cool to watch those for the first time. It's really cool to see an adult watch a cartoon that you grew up with for the first time. Like Steven Universe, I think Steven Universe was the only show that I actually started and finished without stop watching. Which it wasn't hard because they would stop coming out with episodes years at a time, which was annoying. But it was really cool to relive that whole experience and see, Kelly experience like plot twists and secrets like for the first time.
Yeah, that I can definitely relate to.
The 2010s had a big secret mystery theme around their cartoons, I feel.
Yeah.
Especially Adventure Time, especially Steven Universe. There was always some hidden lore.
Well, that was the same time like Gravity Falls.
Yes, that was where I was going with that. I
It's
really
cool,
wish
though.
that Gravity Falls was on Cartoon Network, but I'm glad that it's done its thing. It's run its course.
Cartoons are like on the up. I think it was a sad day for Cartoon Network when they got shuttered, but they're still around. They're still doing their thing. Did you see? I just to close off this topic. Did you see which network picked up the adventure or the regular show reboot?
Was it Adult Swim?
It sure was.
Which is awesome.
Another Adult Swim W. Smiling Friends confirmed for
Yes, sir.
2 more seasons.
Dude, we're in the golden age of animation, I feel. Not so much in the theaters. I feel like that still needs work. But as far as 2D animated TV shows, I think we're in a golden age right now.
There was just an animated Predator movie that came out that I need to watch. Killer of Killers. Terrible name, but
I've never even watched the first Predator.
I think I'm gonna get some hate for this, but you can probably watch them all standalone. Like they're all pretty isolated.
Fair enough.
It's just about like this humanoid hunter creature that hunts people down. They're Arnie films, the first few. So if you like that kind of movie, yeah. But it's like one of his action films, so it's like Terminator. So
Right.
it's cooler than like whatever his comedy movies are.
Yeah, I just kind of want to like jump back in the pool just for a second. I know you said that you don't know how to feel about it. I am really excited for New King of the Hill. I'm sad that Johnny Hardwick isn't going to be in it, other than for the first 4 episodes. They recorded 4 episodes with him before he died, tragically. And then John Redcorn's voice actor, I don't remember his name, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing him justice right now, but he just got murdered, like, at this point, maybe about 3 weeks ago. So
Insane work.
Very poor timing on that bigot's, part. But either way, his death was completely tragic. But I am excited for it. I feel like they're doing a good thing with it. Time skip, definitely a good idea. We get to kind of see their lives for a little while. I think it's only 10 episodes, which I don't like that trend right now, that shows are only getting 10 episodes and then fucking off for a whole year, especially when you put all the episodes up right away. Like Hulu is releasing all 10 episodes on August 4th. I feel like that does the show some injustice.
Yeah, they just kind of like they're there for a blip and they burn out.
Right. Like people will talk about it for a week and then they'll move on, which is not good because you lose the retention. You don't get people talking about it every week.
Devil on the Shoulder, though. I think I agree with you about releasing all of it at once. I think that does more harm than good. But shorter, higher quality production episodes, I agree with, because I feel like if you just try and stretch them out over, like, make more content for no reason, then you run into the filler issue.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, if there's no reason for it, then yeah, by all means. But it makes me sad when, like, common side effects, I feel it could have done with like another 2 episodes, in my opinion. I know you haven't watched it yet, but modern shows only getting like 10 episodes for a season. Like South Park used to have like 20 episodes a season. Now they only produce 10 episodes a season, and then you're craving it for another year, which I guess is good. Like, absence makes the heart grow fonder or whatever. But usually, back in the day of live television, you'd only have to go like maybe half a year without without your show. Now it's just they dump it all at once.
Well, not to say that they've like dipped in quality. You could argue that. I'm not here to talk about that. But don't you think Matt and Trey just kind of clock in?
Oh yeah.
They just clock in yearly, do their thing real quick, because they had a whole documentary about how they're able to turn it around in a day,
right,
or a week.
Yeah, 6 days to air.
Yeah, so it's like they just it's not that it's not that they don't want to make South Park anymore, but maybe they're just invested in other things.
Yeah, it's like yeah, they definitely. I mean, they got their musicals, they got movies that they've done. I don't think South Park was ever supposed to last this long. I think they would have been happy with like 10 seasons of it and move on, but the networks and the world didn't let them move on. It's kind of like Seth MacFarlane. He's never going to be able to get rid of Family Guy. Like, I know that he's, no longer really a writer on there, but he's never going to stop being staple. Peter. He wants to be the next Frank Sinatra, but he can't do that without Family Guy. It's the same thing with South Park for Matt and Trey. I'm sure they want to move on and do different things, but they have to work on South Park. That's their life now. They're the South Park guys.
Well, as bad as it is being the South Park guys, imagine the bankroll that comes with that, and the freedom. Like, I have to work on South Park for who knows how long out of the year, but then for the rest of the year, I can just do whatever else I want to do.
Right. Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that if they could end South Park, they would have done it a long time ago. But they need that to fund the projects they actually want to do.
Well, not only that, I mean, do you think South Park ends just because they walk away?
I guess unless not,
they worked out a deal to own it. Yeah.
I don't think that if Matt and Trey completely stopped writing South Park, I feel like people would stop watching South Park. I know that they're not the only ones doing it, and I'm sure that there have been several episodes where they haven't been really involved other than the voices, but they're a huge part of it. I feel like that dip in quality would be felt.
Well, think of the games that they're not involved in.
Right.
Like the two games that had like the two games they had heavy involvement in did great. The games that they did not involve themselves in,
exactly,
speak for themselves. Yeah, it's just an era of like just art. It's an artist era for real, and a lot of people seem to think with the dawn of machine learning as where it's at and where it's going, that it's just going to continue to be an era of artists. That's all. I mean, that's what we can hope for, right? It's just how will we get there economically, As I approach this deadline I set for myself with Grasp, I continue to feel the pressure.
I feel like there's a lot more indie projects getting greenlit and getting a lot of views these days. Like, I don't know if you've watched it. I don't think you care to watch it, but Amazing Digital Circus, that came out 3 episodes in on YouTube. They were on Netflix and Amazon Prime, which is amazing. Digital Circus. Haha. Has Been Hotel. That was pretty much an indie project when it was first pitched to be on Amazon. Hell of a Boss, still going strong on YouTube, is also on Amazon Prime. There's a lot of indie cartoons that are really doing well, even just on YouTube as a whole. That I'm happy to see that. I don't know. I liked Hazbin Hotel actually. I know it's probably not your cup of tea. I enjoyed watching it.
Bro, I just don't like singing, dude. I
Yeah.
just want to watch a show that doesn't fucking sing. Because I liked Hell of a Boss. I like the Vivzy Pop's whole thing. It's just like some.
Like, not everything has to be a musical.
Not well, yeah. I'm not
That's
even
why you
hating on
didn't like
musicals.
Steven Universe, I bet.
Yes, bro. Yes, because I like Steven Universe. I like Rebecca Sugar. I just want to watch a show. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why I like Disney, but I would like it more if it didn't sing.
Yeah, see, that was the 2010s went through this weird musical phase, while also being peak cartoons. There was also fucking a song every 3 minutes. It felt like Adventure Time wasn't as guilty, but they definitely had their moments.
Well, they had I feel like they were more like jingles, right?
Yeah,
So they were like little earworms. So that was way better because not only did it keep the show in your head, but it didn't overstay its welcome.
yeah. I feel like Adventure Time did it well.
I don't hate the songs in Steven Universe. I don't hate musicals. It's just I want to be in the mood to consume that kind of media. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
all it is.
I get that. I totally get that. To be completely honest, as far as Steven Universe goes, I kind of cringed at some of the songs, at least at the time. Now, whatever. But when I was younger and I was watching it, I was like, does this really need to be a song? Does it need to be a performance like this? Like, I got it sometimes, like, Stronger Than You at the end of, not Full, Jailbreak. That was amazing. I feel like that was a really good sequence.
If you don't like that song, you're a hater. That's it. That's it. If you don't like if you don't like that song, then you either didn't listen to the song or you're just a hater.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that song meant something. That was the emotional climax of the season.
Yeah.
Or not even emotional, just the climax of the season. And it all came to a head right there. All the other songs, I feel like there weren't a lot of reasons for some of them. I think it was just there because Rebecca Sugar likes music and writing music.
Yeah, I'm not hating. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I can still watch the show with the music in it, for sure. I don't have a problem with it now. I will say the amount of 2010 cartoons that just had a random song number in the middle of it was strange. And it still is, because all of those kids that grew up watching shows around that time are now making their own cartoons, and now they're following suit and they have to have a musical number in almost every episode.
And then regular show just had copyrighted music in it.
That was crazy to me. on the when I first rewatched it as an adult, I was like, "Hold on, is that fucking Mississippi Queen?"
No, because that episode lives forever in my household. I make hot sauce, and it is called Mississippi Queen because of that episode. And every time, I'll be at work or just, talking to people who aren't aware of the show at all or just, whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I make hot sauce. I put a whole dried ghost pepper in it, and it's, a special blend of peppers that I do not disclose. And I'm like, it's called Mississippi Queen. And they're like, why is it called that? I said, it's from a cartoon. That's the best way I could describe it. It's from a cartoon.
Yeah, big year for animation. Really happy. Good to see it. I love the animation medium.
I wonder, man, I can only hope that that means something for me. But I have to just, gotta see it through. You gotta put in the work. You want to wrap?
Yeah, I guess we can end it early. There's no problem with that.
Well, I was gonna do a brief little ad for what we're doing on the side, and then go stories, of course, and then
Yeah.
just kind of wrap up because I feel like we're at a good spot. I don't want to deflate, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. On the channel, on this YouTube channel where you post videos, we finally have a video. Catch the Pokemon Grand Prix. Should be out. If this episode's out, the first episode is probably out. CK and I are in a heated battle, racing to get to the end of Pokemon Black and White. Whoever gets there first is the winner. There's a lot of twists and turns. Sometimes CK's an idiot. Sometimes I'm an idiot. Sometimes I'm an idiot again. It happens. But we're having a good time. And you should come check it out.
Both perspectives will be on our
Respective channels.
So be sure to check us out. And then, of course, we're also doing another podcast over on my channel called Ghost Stories, where we will be diving into the horror side of the internet, where, depending on the day, we'll either be tackling something like analog horror, the Mandela Catalog, the Backrooms, or I'll be taking him on a journey through a creepypasta, whether it's something that is poorly written but popular, or something that's like a deep cut. Not a lot of people are aware of it, and it really makes you think something. So, really hope you guys check that out. That's going to be like something really fun, especially if you're into the weird or the unnatural. And, you know, always, I love you.
Okay.
I don't know why. That's just always been my outro.
I've never heard that before.
I always,
As an outro.
well, not like that. Not like that, but I always say love you.
I love you. I'm in your closet.
That's how much I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, yeah, I just thought, you know, I didn't know where to end it, so I just was weird. It worked.